The official trailer for Alien Earth is finally here, and it's packed with xenomorphs and other newly uncovered alien species. We open on Earth in the year 2120, on a place called Neverland Research Island. That name alone gives off an eerie experimental vibe, especially once we meet a young girl named Wendy, whose consciousness will be transferred into a synthetic body, played by Sydney Chandler. While still in her human body, Wendy is looking at a scorpion, a nice parallel to the xenomorph, an armored and aggressive creature, which could be a deep-cut nod to the scorpion alien from Kenner Toys in the 90s. We are then introduced to Boy Cavalier, the young CEO of Prodigy Corp, a Weyland Yutani competitor, who tells Wendy that she is special, and that she'll be the first human ever to upload her mind into an artificial body. From there, we see the massive Prodigy City, showing us the power and size of these future companies. But the area is devastated when the Weyland Yutani ship, the USCSS Maginot, crashes into it. But this is an opportunity for Prodigy, and whatever's in that ship, Boy wants it. And with the wreckage in his city, they'll be the first ones to venture in, while Weyland Yutani scrambles to put a team together. Wendy volunteers to go in with a small group of other synthetics, saying that we're fast, strong, and that we don't break. She then places a sword on her back, a nice tie-in to early concept art showing a figure who was dual-wielding blades against a xenomorph in a forest. Now inside the Maginot, one of Wendy's team members remarks, "It's like a zoo, but the animals got out." We then hear Morrow, a survivor of the Maginot, who says that the ship has collected 5 different life forms from the darkest corners of the universe. There are 5 holding tanks shown. The 2 up front are labeled 008-4 and 005-3. And are what appears to be alien ovomorph eggs, but they are a bit smaller and have a more bumpy skin-like texture to them, while also seeming to be a bit darker in color than your standard ovomorph. I can't see what's in the 3rd and 4th tanks, but in that last one is a massive egg with a green exterior and a pink flesh underneath, showing us 3 large petals. Morrow can be seen in a blood-soaked room. On the floor is something small, black, and shiny. Perhaps it's part of a xenomorph or one of the other aliens or hybrids. Next is a crayon drawing, childlike and crude, depicting someone as they approach a xeno-like creature. This is likely drawn by Wendy. She may be in the body of a synthetic, but she still has the mind of a child. Back in the forest, Wendy and a teammate watch on as a group of soldiers or mercenaries who are being violently torn apart by something off-screen. This could be a team from Weyland Yutani that is trying to infiltrate Neverland. We see what could be Morrow with someone else helping as they pull on a raft with an unknown person who is injured, with blood all over their chest, a possible chest-bursting victim. The environment here looks forested and wet like Neverland, and in the next shot, we see someone laying on the floor in some kind of holding cell, who could be Morrow after he's been captured, and in the previous scene, perhaps he's escaping from this captivity. There's a glimpse of the group of black-clad soldiers, likely from Weyland Yutani, and they are armed with what looks like an early version of the M42A pulse rifle, the iconic weapon used by the Colonial Marines on LV-426. We saw another early version of the rifle on Alien Romulus with the F-44AA model, but this seems to go back even further. One of them is even armed with an older take on the M56 smart gun. Wendy's team succeeds in pulling multiple samples from the wreckage, including one that is labeled 025-2, which could be the lower half of that giant green egg that we saw earlier, with strange finger-like tendrils extending from its base. Boy then says, "Invasive species. Predatory," now having multiple samples in his possession. And then we see Kirsch, a synthetic played by Timothy Oliphant, who's reading a computer screen with information on one of the new aliens. It reads Species 64. Now we don't know how this numbering system works, or if they've discovered 64 alien species at this time in the universe. There was another alien from the gestation teaser that was called Species 37. But they clearly state that there are 5 new alien species, so we'll have to wait to find out more. On the screen for Species 64, it says, "Ocular irises and a tentacle system that can grow or retract at will. The tentacles carry extraordinary strength and are built to climb into and dislodge the eyes of other living organisms. Once replaced in the eye socket, T-ocellus takes over the ocular pathways to the brain, overriding neurotransmissions throughout the body. More study is needed to gauge inherent intelligence, though T-ocellus has shown remarkable problem-solving skills at a near human measure. A complete surprise. Species 64 has been given the tentative, and the last word I can't make out, but it looks like they're just trying to give a name to the creature. But there's also someone holding a canister near Kirsch with yet another unknown alien sample, something strange and worm-like. We see a horrified sheep, it's in a holding cell and backing up to get away from something off-screen. It looks like one of the darker ovomorphs can be seen in a tank behind them, so this could be a xenomorph that is about to take its host. A specimen container is opened and two small, thin red bumpy tentacles begin to reach out, which could be species 64. Wendy can be seen in some form of distress. She's holding onto her ear like something is overwhelming her, or scaring her, as she tries to get used to her new body. We then see two of the darker ovomorphs, followed by that larger green egg as it begins to open up. CJ, played by Alex Lothar, can be seen standing underneath a hole in the ceiling, while that clear alien spit drips down onto his shoulder. This is then followed by what could be him, I can't tell, it's kinda dark, yet he's not being attacked by a fully grown alien, the likely source of that drool, and instead is being taken as a host by a facehugger. So this could be two different scenes here, but it's more likely that this was just someone else taking the hugger, as we also see who I believe to be CJ as he runs like hell from an adult xenomorph. And finally, we get to see T.O.Celis, species 64, with its grotesque, iris-covered head. It's on someone's face, one of their eyes has already been removed, and it's about to crawl into their eye socket. This has to create some kind of mind-controlled zombie, or at the very least, it's affecting what the host sees and could be feeding them hallucinations, or some kind of view that isn't the true reality. This thing is terrifying, and what would happen if it was hybridized with a xenomorph? We get a stunning sequence of Wendy, who has an alien on a hook through its inner jaw and is pulling it along. A rare sighting of an alien in distress. We see her again pulling out her sword, and then we see Morrow, who is being tortured for information with some kind of glowing device on his head. If they can transfer consciousness, then there's no telling what they can do to the human mind to get what they want. And that's pretty much it. We got our first real look at species 64, T.O.Celis, plus glimpses of various other alien samples and eggs. This has me really excited for this series, and I really hope that they don't reveal too much more in future trailers. It's looking like we'll get both the familiar Xenos and entirely new species, maybe even hybrids, opening up a Kenner-like Pandora's box where all kinds of variants and experiments are possible. Let me know what you like best about the new trailer down below. I'm especially curious to hear what you think about species 64. Thanks for watching, take care, and I hope to see you next time.